Hey y'all, Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Well, you're seeing us yet again in another part of the property you've never seen before. And there's a reason for it. Well, over here and maybe behind me you can see, I'm not sure what you're seeing right now, but I imagine you see a ram and a ewe behind me. Now, we just picked them up the other day, and as anybody knows out there looking for stock, that good stock is kind of hard to find right now. I want to give a shout out to my friends at Renewed Homestead, Ben and Denise, for turning us on to this gang right here. Now, the girl is a little bit, she just had twins not too long ago, so she's looking a little bit shabby right now, but we're going to get her into shape. And also, we got a ram that's not related to her. We picked him up also at the same place. So when we're looking for stock, folks, we're looking for things that haven't been shot up with a bunch of chemicals, haven't been raised in a de facto feedlot. So when we go there and we pick these guys up, we're looking at a certain number of things, because more than once we've been to a place where they advertise their stock a certain way. You get there and then you find out that they're not at all what they claimed. I remember the first time we went after sheep, they said, oh, these guys are great, they're pasture raised, blah, 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 blah. We got out there and one of the rams we picked up, and we didn't know any better back then, looked like that vehicle on Starsky and Hutch, where it had the little wheels in the front and the big ones in the back. This thing looked more like a T-Rex than it did a sheep. But we bought it anyway, because we felt desperate at the time. Profound mistake, especially if you intend to reproduce those animals. But that was a long time ago, and we're done making those kinds of profound mistakes. These days, we make different mistakes. But hopefully, this gang isn't part of them. Now, in the future, we're gonna increase our stock. But we got them back, and we don't have any footage of that because a series of a whole lot of events were unfolding at the time. So what we did, we had them in dog crates, pulled them out of the dog crate, put a halter on them, got them over to this side of the property that you've never seen before. And as you can see, yeah, they're a little bit skittish right now, and that's normal. So we got them to this side of the property over here for the express reason that we don't want to necessarily, as soon as you get them back, we don't want to put them in with the stock we currently have. We want to isolate them for a while, and that's probably going to take a month. So we're going to let these guys in the furthest part from our other stock, we're going to let them work this area over. They've been here for like 2 days, and it's almost getting to the point where we probably want to move them. But where do we have them? We have them up in this place that will ultimately be silvopasture. Now, I've talked to you before about how our forests were overgrown and 80% needed to be knocked out. Well, in this portion, we've already done some of that, and you can already see it coming back to life. A lot of it is the stuff these guys want to eat. But also, additionally, folks, let's go over here and talk about the tethering system that we have on this fence and how it all comes to play. So you want to go back and watch some of those videos of the way we do our fencing here, and especially our hot wire. And let's go back here and we'll talk about that for a second. All right, here we are at the spot where we're going to talk about the tethering system. There was a series of videos that probably unfolded that many of you have seen. Some of you maybe haven't seen, so you want to go back and check it out. Around the entire perimeter of our property, we have a couple of things going on. Number one is this woven wire. Number two, right above it on this insulator, is a number 14, and it's hot, and it's cooking. And it's all coming off, it's all fed right now from the permaculture barn. Now, the idea is that no matter where you have your temporary netting, you can tether into this thing just like you see right here. So even if it's like further away, I can put, and it's not the best thing in the world because the insulation's only rated for 600 volts, but I got a bunch of spare number 12 THHN wire. And we'll basically attach it here to this hot wire, stretch it out to wherever this net may be. We lose a little bit, but not much. So let's just go ahead and see what we're getting right now with this relatively small charger up at the barn doing about 3/4 of a mile of hot wire around here, plus this sheep netting. So let's just go ahead and stick this on here and see what we got. You can't really see it on camera, but we're pushing at about 3,500 volts. And the only reason for that is that it just rained a little bit last night, and this stuff is being grounded out more than it ordinarily would. It's typically, without rain, it's typically around 5,000, which, you know, 3 is actually sufficient, especially for these guys. It gets their attention and they become trained to it. So this is also another thing I wanted to point out, is that It's a lot of work on the front end, putting in the woven wire, which is another barrier for any would-be predators. But in addition to that, they have to go through that, and they have to go through this. You know what? There's softer targets out there than these sheep right here. But folks, that's what I want to get at, is that there was a method to the madness. This whole way that we've been doing this thing. Put up the woven wire, put in the hot wire, and now we can tether from here to here, no matter where this fence is. A lot of people were confused about the greater picture. Hopefully this kind of opens it up a little bit more. But anyway, we got these little sheepies in here. These guys are doing their thing. They're becoming acclimated to the area. They're doing what they do. We got water. We got first-class mineral in there. These guys are ready to rock and roll. We'll give them this isolation period. They'll join the other sheep. And then in time, we got more stock planned coming from some pretty reliable places. We'll get them out here as well. There's even a cow in the future, but that's a little ways off. But folks, we've gotten to the point with this good grazing methods that we use that we've taken places that were totally unproductive and turned them into something that we're honestly to the point where we don't have anywhere near enough stock. But we're not just going to put anything out here. So hopefully this stuff helps. Hopefully we've explained how the tethering system that we invented about 10 years ago works. And hopefully you see how you want to isolate your animals when they first get there. And then there's also, depending on where you got them, you also want to be careful about the forage that you have them, accustomed to. Because these guys were only an hour away, it's not so big a difference. But they're off and running, and they're getting to be more and more productive every day they're here. So remember, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and tell people about what we're doing here, because it's special, and it's cool, and it's unlike what a lot of other homesteaders are doing out there. So until next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. We'll see you next time.